Hey everyone, Cerise here from CeriseFairfax.com. I know some of you are very excited today if you watch the promotions online of me speaking about Christy. Christy has become a very dear friend of mine here. We are from Church Street here, and we love the community, and especially with Pride coming up and all the beautiful, wonderful festivities that we're going to be engaging in and enjoying. I thought, wow, why not have an interview with someone who can give you information on behind the scenes of what a transgender person really is. And I'm saying person as opposed to being a gender, male, female, because I believe, and Christy can actually clarify this, I believe gender change, gender transition has something to do with the soul inside the person and really not gender itself. So let's get to Christy. What we're going to do is just ask a few questions. Please, if you feel like you want to call in during the show, feel free to call in during the show. If not, and you're just engaged in listening to the conversation and her experience and all the lessons that she learned along the way, then please feel free to listen. So the first question to Christy that I have is, what is a transgender, and what was the first indicator to you to want to change your gender? First of all, before all, I'd like to introduce you, Christy. So Christy, here she is. I'm just going to put the mic right to her, and she can introduce herself and take it away.
Okay. Well, thank you, Cerise. My name is Christy Joseph. And I've been living in Toronto since 1985. I'm a transgender woman, and the first inclination that I had that I knew that I needed to transition was as far back as when I was about between 4 and 5 years old. I knew back then, even at that young age, that there was something not right with the way society and the way I felt about myself, the way I looked and the way I felt about my gender, even back as early as that. And so my transition really started, technically, way back then. It's been a lifelong transition for me. And it's taken a long time to get to where I am now, and it's because I'm not a young girl anymore. I'm a much older woman. In any event, I think that people might want to know that my full transition, my true transition from one gender to another gender, occurred approximately 1985 when I moved to Toronto.
Now, when you moved to Toronto, was it because, directly involved to your gender transition and it made it easier in the big inner city, or was it just something that helped encourage it more once you got here?
Yeah. Yes, definitely. It encouraged it more once I got here because I didn't come to Toronto initially to transition. It just happened to be a byproduct of the fact that I wanted to come to Toronto because my girlfriend was here. And I wanted to patch things up between her. And I said I would come and see her. And so that's why I came to Toronto. I lived in Kingston at the time. You know, I had just graduated from school, and so I was having this long-distance relationship with my girlfriend. And so anyways, long story short, I came to Toronto to patch things up between us. And I just ended up staying. And I ended up transitioning here.
Okay, that now prompts a different question, and I'm sure all the listeners are like, girlfriend? Now, that brings me to my next question. It kind of is a two-part question, but I guess I'll ask my second part of it after. First part is, you said girlfriend, so when you came here, you were living life fully as a man when you came to Toronto, and your girl was a full girl, so to speak, biologically speaking, girl. What did she know that you were transgender, and how long after that did you start to let people know?
Okay. No, she didn't know that I was. This was a secret that I kept with just myself. No one else knew. No one in my life knew. Not my family. No one. No one knew about Christy. It was a secret that I held for my whole life, up until 1985. I mean, I was born in 60, okay? Let's be frank. I was 25 years old. It was a 25-year-old secret, basically. I knew about it since I was 4. I couldn't tell. I knew back then I couldn't tell anybody, so it was a secret that I kept for myself. And I kept it a secret even when I moved to Toronto back in 85. And I kept that a secret from my family and my girlfriend and all of the people that were close to me. I didn't want to lose them. I was afraid to lose them by telling them who I was. And so I didn't, because I was fearful that if I told them who I was, this secret of mine about who I am, they would say, we don't understand that so much that we can't deal with it, and we don't want you to be a part of our lives. So I didn't tell it, for fear of losing my loved ones. So no, I didn't tell anybody, and until much later on in my life.
So a lot of people wonder within themselves, why don't you remain a biological man? And I say this in quotations, because on your license it actually says female, that you had transitioned. But they might want to know, why not just dress up as a man? I mean, when you're doing one thing, and then put your full force woman gear on when you come down here or around others. Why transition completely to a whole other way of life?
This is the key. People need to understand. This is the important thing that people need to really know about transgendered people. It's not a choice that we make in life to do this. Because I've run through my whole life thinking to myself, I wish it wasn't me. I wish this wasn't me. It's too hard. I wouldn't put this on anyone. I didn't want it. I didn't choose it. It is who I was born as. And so I say to everybody listening, this is not a choice. This is who I am. I didn't want to be this. I would have done anything if this wasn't me. No one chooses to live this difficult life trying to transition from one gender to another, because it's too hard for most people. Most people commit suicide. They lose their families. They lose their children. They lose their wives. They lose their husbands. They lose everything. Every loved one in their life will reject them. And so they're afraid to tell them who they are, and they're afraid, so they don't say anything. They'll commit suicide. They know how hard it is. I know how hard it is. It's been my experience how hard it is. I know. I lived it. So I say to everyone out there, this is not a choice. I was born, as the song says. I was born this way. I had no choice in who I was. It was just that's what happened. These are the cards I was dealt. It's the genetics of it. That's all. And so I say, please understand this. I was not born a man. I was not born a boy. I was born a female. I was born a girl. But people didn't see it. You see, people need to know. People need to know. When you see someone like me, know this. I may look strange, or I may not look like the typical girl that some people see in magazines on the covers. But listen closely. It's imperative that you know this, because our lives are on the line. We get killed every day all over the world. My best friend was murdered because of this. We're just trying to live our lives, knowing who we are. I was born a girl, and the coding of that girl was shaped like a man. And I had taken my whole life to chip that away. And finally I did. I've chipped it all away. It's all gone. And what's left is what's underneath, and that's the girl. That's the woman that's left. And that's what the way I was. It's the spirit inside a person. It's what matters most about a person. It's what's inside a person, not the exterior of the person, not what they look like, not what they're shaped like, not what they look like, not what they're shaped like, not their color, not their anything. It's what's on the inside of a person, the spirit of a person, and that's me, and that's the girl in me. That's all I am, among other things. Some people say I can dance pretty good too. But in any event, the important thing to remember is, we're all different on the inside and on the outside. But I'm telling you, this is the truth for me and my life. And I bear witness to all those who are transgendered and all those who aren't. We're no different than anyone else, even in our differences. We're all blood on the inside. We're all genetics, atoms and carbon and et cetera, et cetera. I hope you understand. If you don't, I'll try to explain it a different way.
Yes. Well, if you don't, I'm going to be answering all your questions, all your emails, and all your text messages, and we're going to have a second part with Christy, and we'll get more into depth about, of course, her sexual. Let's actually get into that a little bit right now, because Bruce Jenner. Oh, yeah. Kaitland Jenner, okay, she was asked the question, what she wants, male or female. And you and I had discussed this previously the other day, and you gave me what your thought was on it. And if you don't mind being open with the audience, let them know what you prefer and why, what you preferred. Well, we know that you had a girlfriend before transgender, before transitioning. Tell us what there is. Does a male become a female because they are? And why? They do it because they feel they're male or because they're female, but it's not for a sexual reason. Okay, what are you interested in, and what do you prefer right now, or are you bisexual? Okay.
Well, this is my truth. Everybody's a bit different. Everybody has their own story. This is my story, and it's the truth. And it's the truth not only for me, but for everyone else as well. They can tell their own stories, and I'm sure they'd agree with me. Gender has nothing, your transitioning has nothing to do with your sexuality. Who you're attracted to means nothing in relation to your gender. Nothing at all. It's two completely separate issues. Many people who transition are attracted to one gender or another, or maybe both. It makes no difference to me. I don't care. From my perspective, all I can tell you is my story. I've always been attracted to women. From the time I was in grade 3 and I had my first crush on a girl. I've always been attracted to women, and not many people will say, well, that makes you whatever. And I say, well, whatever you want to call me, I don't care. I know what I am. I'm a lesbian. I'm a female who's attracted to women and who wants to have my sexuality expressed with women. And that makes me, for a lot of other people, if they believe that I'm a woman and know that I'm a woman, that makes me a lesbian. Now, there's many other people in my shoes that are attracted to men. Now, they may want to transition based on the fact that they feel like they have the wrong parts attached to them, and they want men to be attracted to them more, so they will transition on that basis. But initially, the reason they're transitioning is because they know they're women, and they want to transition. It doesn't matter who you're attracted to. That's a different issue. That's a sexuality. Gender and sexuality are two separate discussions. They're two separate topics. They're two separate words. Gender is just what you're called at birth. Male, female, in between, I don't care. Hermaphrodite, doesn't matter. Your sexuality doesn't say anything on your birth certificate because no one knows who you're attracted to at birth. If they knew that, they'd know what's going on inside your brain. And they didn't know what was going on inside my brain at birth either. Otherwise, there would be an F on my birth certificate. Right? But they didn't know until I told them, until I told the authorities in the province that this is who I am. And they said, yes, Christy, we agree. You should change your birth certificate to F. Or well, I haven't had that done yet because I was born in New Brunswick. But I mean, on my health card and on my driver's license, I'm a female. And that's it. And let me tell you, it's taken a long, long time, over 50 years to get that accomplished. In any event, I'm attracted to women. I'm a lesbian. There's other transgender people, whether you be a a transgendered male or a transgendered female. It doesn't really matter. You can be attracted to a man or a woman in either case. That's your sexuality. That's who you're attracted to. That's who you want to sleep with. Or you can sleep with both. It makes no difference to me. I hope that answers your question.
That is actually a beautiful answer because it opens up a lot of different questions for me even, right? Because when you said there's people, the two are different, gender versus sexuality. I think we should do a show on that alone. Okay, so you and I also got into some discussion the other day about community where we are right now. It's Church in Wellesley, and for those of you who are in India listening or in Italy, in Africa, we have a huge range of people, Christy. There are a lot of people listening right now from Google+. I just actually want to shout them all out. Hey, Google+, hey, Twitter, hey, Facebook, yeah, Facebook and Instagram. Yeah, some people are staying up for this that live in India and Australia. Nope, not just Toronto. Exactly, right? So this is my question. We're going to do another show, like I said, sexuality versus gender. However, the area that we are in right now, and I would encourage all of you to go online and Google Church in Wellesley. It is the known village for gay-friendly, gay area, LGBTQ, two-spirited. However,
different franchise people.
That's right. However, Christy and I were speaking the other day, and I had said to Christy, you must feel so comfortable in this area. And, of course, she feels a little bit more comfortable in this area than other areas, but she had mentioned to me that in every area she might get some looks. She might get some stares. And I want her to open that a little bit more and enlighten us a little bit more on an average day in Christy's life from the morning. And she just told me today that every day you get up, you got to shave.
Yeah.
Tell them this. You wake up in the morning. What is the average day when you, because an average chick, I can tell you. First of all, Christy, I'm going to provide some pictures later on in our next and our next one. Christy looks beautiful today. I'm going to take some pictures. You're welcome. And you'll get to see that she is fabulous. Like, the other day I called her a diva, and she's like, I'm not a diva. I'm not one of those people that's like, I want blue M&Ms, not your regular ones, right? So I laughed, and I was like, that's true. That could be, the diva. But she's divalicious to me, and not without the commands of, feeling extraordinary. Just, she's a very simple chick, and I love her. But I actually want her to give you a day in Christy's life. When she wakes up in the morning, from her shower to her shaving to getting out, her makeup to getting out on the streets, and how people perceive her in her own area, because she doesn't live in this area, and then even when she gets in the area, the difference, and then on your way back home. Here you go.
Okay. So it's a very long answer, and I'm going to try to cut it down to a very short answer. But I'll go until I get told not to. I get up in the morning. I get up fairly early, around 6 o'clock, wake up, and I need to take a shower, and I get in the shower. And then I say to myself, today's another day. I get to have another day, and I'm very grateful for that. I'm very fortunate to be alive. I'm very fortunate to be alive, and I realize that because my best friend is dead. My best friend is dead because she was a transgendered woman like me, and she was murdered. And so every day when I start my day, I get in the shower, and as I wash myself, I think of my best friend who died and was murdered 13 years ago, and I think about her. And I go, Sandra, today's the day. I wish you were here, but I'm still here. And I thank you for all the time that we spent together. I thank you for all your strength that you've given me, because you came before me, Sandra. You transitioned before I did. And then I put my makeup on. It takes me a little while because I'm not the prettiest girl in the world, so I want to look as best as I can so that the world won't laugh at me as much. So I try my best to look as pretty as I can and as feminine as I can so I won't get the stares, but I do. In any event, it takes me about a half an hour or so. And then I generally will go and have a coffee at the coffee shop and talk to a few people there, and then I get stares there from people. People look at me, and I've had it several times when men have looked at me so scary, and they give me the finger, and they want to fight me, and they call me names, and I've had to call the police on many occasions. In any event, I have my coffee, and then I go, and I usually will work out for a little while, maybe from anywhere from 15 minutes to an hour. And after that, I'll go visit my friend, usually, who's in a wheelchair, or whatever appointments I may have, like talking with people who will support me in my transition, because I'm not as far along as I probably would like to be, but I'm as far along as I'm happy with. But I still have doctors to talk to and people to talk to and so many things going on in my life. And I just get out and I walk and I talk and I meet with people and I talk with people and I engage with people. And for the most part, though, when I'm walking alone. And I get stares. And I get stares. Let me tell you, I get stares. And I get people who are mad at me. I get people laughing at me. A lot of younger kids, generally, men and women, in their teenage years. If they're in groups, they're even worse. But I've taken all those kids on, too, and all those people. I take them all on. I take them all on because I'm not afraid to take them all on. I'm a very fearless woman. There's no doubt about that. I'm fearless to the point where I know that I'm ready to die every single moment of my life. Every single day I cherish, but I know that I could die in a second. In a second, because my best friend died in a second. She was strangled to death. And she was transgender. That's why she got killed. And that man killed her. Let me tell you. He was never caught. 13 years ago in her apartment, he strangled her to death because he knew. He hated her because of who she was. It wasn't because she was treating him bad. It was because she invited him in to be nice to him. She was being kind to him. She was attracted to him and wanted to please him and be nice to him. And he knew before he went into that apartment that he hated her and he wanted to kill her, and he did. And he's never been caught. And I tell you, I want to see my best friend again so bad. It's been 13 years. It'll be 14 years in August. Let me tell you, I want to see her today. I want to have another coffee with her. I want to go shopping with her today. I want to go. And so every day I wake up and go, today's a great day to be alive, but it's also a great day to die too, because if I do, I'll get to see you, Sandra. And that's a day I relish that day. And most people, they are afraid of me when I take on those bullies in this neighborhood and all over this city. I don't care how big they are. I don't care how many there are. I've taken on 6 big, huge guys one time at the corner of Bathurst and Bloor, and I told them they better move, because I ain't moving from this corner, as they tried to say to me, this is our hood. Bullshit, I said. Excuse my language. I told them where to go, and they left. And they moved on, not me. I stay. I've been beaten up in my East York. I was beaten up by a man one time in a park. And I went back the next day because he didn't kill me. He didn't kill me. I'm still alive, obviously. But I went back to the same spot in that park, Taylor Creek Park. I went back to the same spot where he beat me up, on top of the rock that he slammed me on, because he found out that I was transgendered. And then I said, here I am, still standing here in my park where I go walking every morning in the summertime to feed the birds. And here I am, still standing here, you son of a you-know-what. Where are you now? You're gone. I'm still standing here, people. I don't leave. I stay. I stay forever. I'll never leave, ever. Even when I'm dead, I'm going to be in this community, because the spirit lasts forever. Eternity, that's what I'm talking about. And my friend Sandra's here with us right today. I tell you, she's looking down on me right now, talking to me and saying, Christy, you're doing well. Keep on talking, Christy. Never shut up. Christy, you have a better way of talking than I did. But I was prettier, Christy. I did look better than you. And I'll say, yes, Sandra, you did look better than me. You were gorgeous compared to me. In no comparison there, Sandra. You were the best-looking girl. Let me tell you, I miss her every day. She's the one why I'm so strong and so fearless. It's because of her. My parents taught me well. My parents taught me very well. God granted me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change. courage to change things, I can. And I had the courage to change, Dad, and I did. And the wisdom to know the difference. I'm serene about who I am. I can't change who I am. But guess what, people? I've had the courage to change because I could change my gender, and I did it. It takes courage to do things that are important in life. It comes from a poem that my dad taught me. It's a very famous poem, the Serenity poem. And he taught me another poem that I want everyone to know, called Desiderata. And I'll read it to you now if you want. This comes from an old poem, 1692, called Desiderata. Go placidly amid the noise and haste, and remember what peace there may be in silence. As far as possible, without surrender, be on good terms with all persons. Speak your truth quietly and clearly, and listen to others. Even the dull and ignorant, they too have their story. Avoid loud and aggressive persons. They are vexations to the spirit. If you compare yourself with others, you may become vain and bitter, for always there will be greater and lesser persons than yourself. Enjoy your achievements as well as your plans. Keep interested in your own career, however humble. It is a real possession in the changing fortunes of time. Exercise caution in your business affairs, for the world is full of trickery. But let this not blind you to what virtue there is. Many persons strive for high ideals, and everywhere life is full of heroism. Be yourself. Who else am I going to be? Especially do not feign affection. Beyond a wholesome discipline, so neither be cynical about love. For in the face of all aridity and disenchantment, it is perennial as wrath. Take kindly the counsel of the years, gracefully surrendering the things of youth. Nurture strength of spirit to shield you in sudden misfortune. But do not distress yourself with imagining. Many fears are born of fatigue and loneliness. Beyond a wholesome discipline, be gentle with yourself. You are a child of the universe, no less than the trees and the stars. You have a right to be here. And whether or not it is clear to you, no doubt the universe is unfolding as it should. Therefore, be at peace with God, whatever you conceive him or her or it to be, and whatever your labors and aspirations in the noisy confusion of life. Keep peace with your soul. With all its sham and drudgery and broken dreams, it is still a beautiful world. Be careful. Strive to be happy. My dad gave me that poem a long time ago, and I believe it. It'll make you a happy person if you just listen to it and strive to be happy, and it'll give you all the desires of life that you want. It's a very good poem. It talks about wanting and needing things out of life, the desires of life. And I desired things out of life, and so did my dad. And I think that poem helped him, and it helped me. It helped me. It helps me to this day. I thank my dad for that. My dad taught me a lot of things, and one of them was the best. So many great things my mom and dad taught me. My dad was a great man. He's gone now, but that's another story. Anyways, that's Desiderata. I hope you like it. Desiderata.
And that was a poem when I first met Christy that she shared with me and I fell in love with, and she gave me a copy for myself. So please Google it, print it up. I keep a copy of it in my cell phone holder. So we have 30 seconds left of the show. 10 seconds left. No, sorry. 15 seconds. Oh, no, 14. Okay, here we go. I want to say goodbye, and I want everyone else to please send your questions so we can have a second show with Christy. Christy, can you please say goodbye to everyone and all your fans?
Sure. Goodbye. Take care.